would your life be different with a team behind you?
You know, my dream was to teach, to travel, to empower, to make a difference in other people's lives.
He's a New York Times best-selling author and a 30-year business veteran. The CEO of one of the largest outsourcing companies.
Daven and the New York Times best-selling author believes just because you have a full-time job doesn't mean you can't start your own company.
The people that have the most amount of success in their lives are the people that have experienced the most failures, but they kept on keeping on.
Are we really here to add a zero to our bank account? I'm going to show you how to get your life back.
We're only on this planet for like a minute. Your legacy is what you're able to give, the impact you're able to make. Your legacy is who you are in the moment. You know, your legacy is what you do while you're alive.
Woo! Thank you very much, Daven Michaels.
All right. Thank you, brother. All right. Awesome. How y'all doing? Yeah, all right, cool. Awesome. Okay, so I'm Daven Michaels, and what you're about to discover, what I'm going to share with you today, is how to supercharge your affiliate business. How many of you want more affiliates? Put them up high. Let me know. Okay, I see 3 of you. Any of the rest of you want more affiliates? Put them up high if you want affiliates. More affiliates, yeah. Anybody else in the room, maybe you don't need affiliates, but there's other things that you need in your business. Just curious. Tell me. I can't hear you. Traffic. Okay, cool. Affiliates will bring you traffic, yes? Yes, okay. Anything else? I want to make sure you're all served here. Anybody else? Okay, affiliates, great. So I'm going to show you how to create that plan, how to have that plan implemented for you, and how to have a ton of high-level affiliates coming through your door every single day. If that sounds good, say aye. Boy, you guys sound like you're still asleep. Does that sound good? Yeah, all right, cool. Okay, so my promise to you in the next 20 minutes or so is twofold. One is I'm going to show you how to increase the profits in your business. Obviously, more affiliates equals more profits. But 2, and most importantly, I'm going to show you how to get your life back. If this sounds good, let me hear a ah. Okay, gosh, you guys are asleep. Okay, I guess lunch was good. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. If you don't know who I am, I'm Daven Michaels. I've been self-employed for nearly 30 years. And I have to tell you, when I hear that number, I crack up, because up until recently, I thought it was 20. And I was actually in my hotel room in Palm Springs, California. I was getting ready to do a presentation like this one. I pulled out my PowerPoint, started to do the math. I was like, oh my gosh, it's been nearly 30 years. I don't know where the time has gone. Of course, I started my business when I was 4 years old. No, just kidding. Today, until last year, I was the owner of a company called 123 Employee. We're the premier outsourcing centers in the Philippines. We had about 1,000 employees. Last year, I sold the company, and now we're part of a conglomerate with 6,000 employees. And they kept me on as CEO, so I have a job. But I'm the founder of that company. For many years, a little secret about me, I was the biggest electronic music event producer in the U.S. I used to throw parties for 20,000 people a night. How'd you like to be on my guest list? Yeah. I'm an international speaker and coach, outsourcing expert, New York Times best-selling author, and all-around good guy. All right, and what I'm going to show you how to do is I'm going to share with you a process that we've been using for the last decade to build probably the biggest affiliate list in our niche. Does that sound interesting? Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, I didn't do it. Our team at 123 Employee did it. So the whole thing was outsourced. Does that sound good? Yeah, and just to put that in perspective, this is just sort of our team at 123, but some of the things we do on a daily basis for our people, for our clients. We pick up their phones, we do their content marketing, we do their transcription, their research, we schedule appointments for them, we do their Facebook and all of their social media, we handle sales, and we answer emails, even do their SEO. Does that sound kind of cool? Yeah, if somebody was doing all that stuff for you, what the heck would you guys do with yourselves? What would you do? Go to the beach. I love it. Perfect answer. All right, so I'm going to show you how to create a positive outsourcing ROI in your business and how to add a couple of zeros to your bank accounts. Does that sound good? Okay, cool. I want to share a couple of things with you. Now, I know I'm preaching to the choir. Quite often I talk to audiences that may or may not be in the affiliate space. You guys are. So there are 2 ways that every business can add a couple of zeros to their bank accounts. Now, the first one, obviously, is have your own affiliate program, which I presume at this point all of you do, or you plug into a network. But there's one more distinction you may want to think about that will add a zero to your bank account as well, and that is smart businesses use affiliate marketing to fill the gaps in their business. So what do I mean by that? Well, most of us are generally in sort of one business. I am in the outsourcing business, and I have been for well over a decade. But there's a myriad of other things that my clients would purchase from me if I only had it to sell to them because they know, like, and trust me. Does that make sense? Yeah, and there's a myriad of different things that your customers would buy from you as well if only you had them to sell because they trust you. So I don't want to be in 40 different businesses, but I use my affiliates to fill the gaps in my business. So there are other things I sell my clients, like coaching and office supplies and insurance, and the list goes on and on. But I do that through my affiliates, and that adds a zero to my bank account. Does that make sense? Yeah, so it's another way to think about affiliate marketing. You use it to fill the gaps in your business. There's a myriad of other things you can sell to your clients that you probably don't currently sell to them. And when you're selling through an affiliate, what's your profit margin? No, it's 100%. Costs you nothing. You already have that list. So 100% profit margin, which is a big deal. In my business, I have a 20% profit margin. So I have to sell $1 million worth of services to make a couple $100,000. But if I'm doing something through an affiliate, how much do I have to sell to make a couple $100,000? A couple $100,000. My profit is 100%. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we've been generating high-level joint venture partners for ourselves in our business and build the biggest list in our niche. Now, one last distinction I want to share with you before I get into that. In our world, we have affiliates and we have joint venture partners, and essentially they're the same thing, but I look at them a little differently. At 123 Employee, we have tens of thousands of affiliates. I don't know any of them, but I love every single one of them because they're generating business for me day and night, whether I'm awake or asleep. I love them. Now, they're small. My affiliates, on average, might send me a deal a year. It's not a lot. But then I have my joint venture partners. These are all the big boys and girls. I know every single one of them on a first-name basis. Some of them, most of them, are my best friends. I travel all over the globe with them. I take them out for lavish dinners. I spend lots of money on them. Why not? Because they can generate me 10 to 150,000 in about 90 minutes. Who likes to have friends like that? Yes, absolutely. And by the way, that's US, not shekels. So we have both. So this is how I find our high-level joint venture partners, okay? All right, so let me break this down for you. So whatever space you're in, it doesn't matter. I'm going to show you how we generate more high-level joint venture partners in the make money online space, okay, or the biz op space. So the first thing we do is our virtual assistants, they will go on and find where your joint venture partners live, okay? For us, these are some of the sites. So I'm just curious, is anybody in biz op or make money online, any of those spaces? Put them up if you are. Okay, some of you. All right, so this is where our VAs go data mine. So they go to these sites. Some of the sites are JV Zoo, ClickBank, Commission Junction, JV Notify Pro, Muncheye. Okay, and Muncheye is spelled kind of funny. It's M-U-N-C-H-E-Y-E. It's owned by a friend of mine, Chris Munch. So our team goes to these sites and they data mine the information. They find all of our potential joint venture partners. Now, this gives us all their names and their offers, but we don't have their contact information. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So we're on our way there. Now, there's another place that we love to get data as well. And this will be some of your best data, and that is leaderboards, right? Because your affiliates have contests, and their top affiliates are at the top of these leaderboards. I'll give you an example. So this is a leaderboard for one of my projects. A couple of years ago, I launched an association for virtual entrepreneurs. It's called VIA. It's called the Virtual Entrepreneurs Association. And the day we launched with a contest for affiliates. We had thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people join on day one. And so this is an example of our leaderboard. So I highly suggest you have your virtual assistant go to leaderboards of your affiliates and scrape that data. Why? Because as we know, 20% of your affiliates do 80% of your volume. So the people at the top are going to be your best people, right? So we scrape all that data, and we go after them first, and then eventually we'll burn through that, and then we'll move on to everybody else because we want everyone. So leaderboards are also going to be a great place to grab that data. And once again, we're going to know who they are, but we don't have their contact info. All right, so that's where LinkedIn comes into play. So now your virtual assistant's going to go on LinkedIn, but they're going to use Sales Navigator. Is there anybody in here that does not know what Sales Navigator is? Put them up if you don't know. Anybody? Okay, a couple of you. Okay, so LinkedIn is free. You're all on LinkedIn. But Sales Navigator is an add-on to LinkedIn. It'll run you a little less than $100 US a month. And this allows you to get deeper data and create lists. So your virtual assistant will have Sales Navigator on their computer. They'll be inside your LinkedIn. And what they'll do is they'll take names off of the leaderboards or the sites that we pulled all that info from, and they'll do a search, okay? Now, they'll also have a Chrome extension loaded up called Lead Leaper. So write that down, Lead Leaper, L-E-A-D-L-E-A-P-E-R, Lead Leaper. And this is a Chrome extension. And when they're using Sales Navigator, and when they click, or they type in your contact's name, your prospect, your prospective joint venture partner, and they click Lead Leaper, 85% of the time, they'll get their personal email address and mobile number. Pretty cool, right? Yep, okay, cool. And so then they'll start scraping that data and compiling a list of potential affiliates for you, okay? These are joint venture partners. They're higher level than affiliates. So what are the next steps? Now your VA, when I say VA, I'm talking about virtual assistant. So now your assistant will go online and friend them on the different social media platforms. So they'll friend them on Facebook, LinkedIn, and they'll follow them on Twitter. They're not going to reach out via social media. They're just going to send friend requests. Does that make sense? Yep? Okay, cool. All right. The next thing is they're going to reach out to them via email. That's how they're going to start the conversation, through email. Now, you could use a Google Doc for this process, but I recommend, I mean, you absolutely can, but I recommend using a CRM. There's so many great CRMs out there right now, and it'll just give you an edge. It'll help you. There's one that I like for this process, and it's called Cloze, C-L-O-Z-E. There's more than one Cloze out there. There's like Cloze.io. This is the one you want to use. So it's C-L-O-Z-E, and it has this little logo. And what I like about it, it's very robust. It's great for sales. It allows you to create a pipeline so you can see, you know, how many affiliates you have in the pipeline, what you've won, what you've lost, what your potential revenue is. And it's very inexpensive. This one happens to be $150 US per year. So it's super inexpensive. So I would suggest using Cloze. So now your VA will go on. They'll start importing this database. They'll start importing the information. They'll tag them. They'll set them up for the type. They'll put what the potential revenue is from this affiliate. So now you'll be able to track what's in your pipeline, and they'll create deals. Now, the next thing is they'll have templatized emails that they'll be sending out. You'll create the email, but then your assistant can, you know, run these emails for you. So I'll give you an example of an email that we send out. Now, this email comes out from my email. So I'm not sending it, obviously. My time is too valuable for that. But they're coming out as if they're from me. So one of my emails might look something like this. John, I'm looking for webinars and promos to run to my list. Would love to JV with you. Let's jump on a call to discuss. Copying in Clara. Clara, please schedule some time for John and I to chat. Thanks. Okay. Now, let's dissect this message for a moment because it's pretty important. So, first of all, I'm saying, John, looking for webinars and promos to promote to my list. Did I say, hey, run my promo? No. Did I say, hey, will you run my webinar? Will you do something for me? No. I'm saying, hey, I'm looking for promos to run to my list because it's the law of reciprocity, right? So I'll run a promo for them. We'll make some money together. They'll run mine. I'll double my money. Does that make sense? Yep. Okay. So then I say here, copying in Clara. Clara, please schedule some time for John and I to speak. Clara is actually not my assistant. Clara is a bot. Okay? This is one of my secret sauces here. So how many of you have spoken to somebody before, decide you're going to jump on a call, schedule an appointment, you send out your schedule link, and then it just falls through the cracks. That's very common, right? It happens all the time. So I use a bot. And so I just copy in Clara at davenmichaels.com, and Clara jumps in and takes over. If you want a bot, you can get one. They're at claralabs.com, Clara Labs. So why do I use a bot? Well, this bot costs $100 a month if it's not branded, $200 a month if it's branded. I use the branded one, so I pay a couple $100 a month. But now, all of my calls get scheduled, because what happens is Clara reaches out and says, hey, John, these are the times and dates that Daven's available for a Zoom call. What works for you? And then they select the time. Now, let's say John doesn't respond. Clara will reach out again. If John doesn't respond, Clara will reach out, and she'll keep reaching out. This way, it never falls through the cracks. This will dramatically increase your conversion. Now, you may be thinking, well, why is Daven wasting his time getting on calls? Well, remember, each of these joint venture partners, these are high-level partners, are worth, they could generate 100,000 USD or 300,000 shekels for me in about an hour. Is that worth getting on a phone call? It is, absolutely. Now, having said that, I don't get on calls anymore. So what happens is, so my assistant is LJ. She's been with me for well over a decade. And so in the early days, she got on these calls with me, and she listened to me do them until she understood it. And now what happens is, when that appointment happens, LJ jumps on. And she'll say, you know what, Daven just got stuck on a phone call, but rather than make you wait, let's just jump into it. And she does it. So I don't even show up anymore, okay? So you also may be thinking, well, why doesn't Daven just use his assistant for the follow-up calls? Well, I could, but her time is better spent bringing in new affiliates. So I'll let the software chase down these calls, and besides that, if you take out the human element, the bot's going to be better at it anyways. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So let's say that John doesn't respond. So if John doesn't respond, then my VA will now reach out on social media. So first on Facebook, and the message would be something like this. John, I'm looking for webinars and promos to run to my list. Sent you an email. Do you have any offers you're promoting right now? So we reference the email because it presupposes hey, we had John's email, we must know each other. John's probably sitting there thinking, gosh, I don't remember Daven, but maybe I do know him, I'll respond. If John still doesn't respond, then your VA will send out on LinkedIn, send out a direct message with the same messaging. Now, if John still doesn't respond, then your VA will reach out on LinkedIn via InMail. Is there anybody in the room that does not know what InMail is? Put them up if you do not know what InMail is. Put them up. There's got to be a bunch of you that don't know what InMail is. Okay, all right. So InMail is a super expensive service from LinkedIn that I highly recommend that you do not use, okay? It's very expensive. InMail allows you to reach out to anybody on LinkedIn. They don't have to be in your network. You can reach out to, I don't know, Biden or Clinton or whoever, which is cool. But it's very expensive. It's like $1 an email. You never monetize out on it. But when you have Sales Navigator, you get about 20 InMails every month for free. So now your virtual assistant can reach out via InMail if they can't reach them through any of these other channels. So they'll reach out on InMail. Now lastly, second to lastly actually, if they can't reach them via email, then or social media, then the next option is texting. So what platforms can we use for texting? Obviously you could use your Apple text. RingCentral is great. Dialpad is fantastic. It was created by the same person that created Google Voice. And Google Voice is great. That's actually what I use, Google Voice. So my virtual assistant is in my Google Voice all day long. Quite often I go to lunch with my friends, I hold up my phone, and they see all these text messages going back and forth, and it's not me. As a matter of fact, my friends never know whether they're really talking to me or my assistant, LJ. So now they can reach out as you via text. Now, if you don't have a relationship with these people, I would not recommend using text because you're just going to get your phone shut off, right, for spamming. But if people know you in your industry, then text is great. People know me in my industry. So if if I want to work with somebody that I've never worked with before, my assistant will send out a message something like, hey, John, it's Daven Michaels. I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of working with you, but I'd sure like to explore doing something with you. Are you open to jumping on a call, see what we can do? Or are you open to doing a joint venture or something like that? And because people know me in the industry, no big deal. They text out as me all the time. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Okay, if still no responses, then they're going to go to their Twitter, if they have Twitter, and they're going to DM them, send them a direct message. Or if they never accepted it, then they can send a tweet. Now, if somebody hasn't responded to any of those, that person's dead and nobody told you, right? Do you agree that they'd respond to one of those channels? Absolutely. Yep, and this is the way that you can reach your high-level affiliates on a regular basis. And if there's anything else you want to do, like any type of list you want to create, or and do a reach-out campaign, it doesn't have to be affiliates. So if there's anything that you're looking for in your business, I was just speaking to somebody that was looking to find people that sell diamonds. All you have to do is take out the word affiliate, throw in diamond sellers, and you can do the exact same thing. So one more time, just to kind of reiterate some of the stuff that you can offload to your virtual assistants. They can pick up your phones. They could do your content marketing, your transcription, your SEO, your research, your content marketing, all of your social media, handle your sales calls, do your SEO, etc. And if you want to learn more, reach out to me. I always love talking to young, bright entrepreneurs. I'm Daven Michaels on everything, DAVEN-MICHAELS. Or if you want, you can text. Would you guys like a copy of this presentation? Yeah? Okay. So if you text JV to, and you have to add a +1 here. So +1 323 433 6430. Maybe take a picture of that because I'm going to be out of here in a second. And we can go ahead and get that presentation out to you. Was this interesting for you? Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Bye.